Hello, El Paso. This is Wicked Ink 915, tattoo artist out of the borderland. I specialize in custom tattoos and digital art for band logos, business logos, and personalized art. Find me on Instagram at Wicked Ink _ 915 or under Wicked Vinyl Creation to schedule appointments for your next tattoo or to get your personalized merch such as stickers, t-shirts, mugs, and patches. Thank you and have a great day.
Here we go. We are here back live at the Rock House Dive Bar Kitchen venue. Our first show since the Mrs. Reality Double Shot Weekend. It is hot as a motherfucker in here. I don't know what's up with the air conditioner. Sorry, guys. So my guests at this time, they were the local support for that Mistress show on the El Paso side. They're my personal favorite band in El Paso. If you've been to more than one of my shows, chances are you've seen them. Ladies and gentlemen, Among the Living. How you doing, guys?
We're doing great. How about you?
Doing good. Let's do some quick intros. We don't have any videos, so let's just do some intros.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Davester. I'm the vocalist and frontman on Among the Living.
Hi.
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm John.
Lean in, bro. Lean into the mic. Or just pass it by hand, yeah. You can take off the stand, just pass it. Make it a lot easier.
Alrighty. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Johnny. I'm the drummer of the band.
Hey, this is Angel. I play the guitar and things.
Justin, also guitar and things. Howdy, this is Berto. I'm the rhythm bassist and lead bassist of Among the Living.
What's up? It's your boy Caleb. I play guitar and a little bit of kazoo. Lead kazoo, actually, for Among the Living.
And in the back here, quiet, we got Big Fernie in the back, the manager.
Big Fernie. Hi, Fernie. And I think I managed them.
Yeah. All right, so guys, you dropped your first full-length album, Closing the Casket. Was it approximately a year and a half ago? Does that sound right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, just about.
All right, so I remember, I don't know, Fernie and I had long conversations before. I know you guys took a while on that album to make it. I remember Caleb telling me you guys, didn't you finish in Albuquerque? Or explain to us the recording process for that first full-length album.
Well, so basically we were shopping around for studios here in El Paso, and none of them really kind of tickled our fancy. So Davester's uncle actually knew a guy in Albuquerque by the name of Ken Riley. So we hit him up and we recorded with him. This guy's kind of a big shot, knows what the hell he's doing. It's pretty cool. And it was kind of really weird for us to go ahead and go from like recording at home and playing in the living room and all that stuff to actually going to a legitimate recording studio.
We were literally, when we first started making some tracks for the album, I was singing in my closet into my clothes with a PS4 mic just to try and get something on BandLab on a phone, just so we can have reference to like what we wanted to sound. And it wasn't until we met Johnny where we actually started learning more about recording, and then we kind of took it from there. Isn't that right, Johnny?
Yeah, that's pretty right. I joined the band, and we kind of started piecing out from there. We started making some changes to the band, like who's in, who's actually staying, and what we needed for the band at the time was another guitarist. That's when Caleb joined.
Wait, so let's rewind here since that kind of feeds into some questions I had. So I guess let's rewind to the beginning. So how did this band form? How did y'all meet each other?
Oh, no. Well, started back in my junior year. I get a bass for the first time ever because my fingers were too big for guitar. I was terrible at it. And I joined this group called the Rock It's from Irvin High School. And I re-met Justin. He was my friend since like freshman year. We hadn't talked for a while. And then junior year, met him again, met Angel. We started making some music. Later on, met Caleb. Not making music, I'm sorry. We were playing some covers and stuff for like school parades, like simple things.
And what high school is this?
Irvin High School.
Okay, now where's that? I'm not from El Paso, so what part of town
It's
is it?
like northeast.
Okay.
992-4.
Yeah.
2-4, baby.
2-4.
That's correct. We attempted to play covers. Let's be real here.
Yeah. We did pretty good. Angel would also do some drums. That was insane. This guy's a beast on the drums.
Trust me, I remember those parades, watching you guys perform. Like, after you guys went by, I was just like, hey, look, police cars.
That means you're a different school, or?
No, I went to Urban as well. I'm just a lot older than them. I graduated before So when I was a senior, you were a freshman, Caleb? Is that correct? So when I was a senior, Caleb was a freshman at Irvin, and it wasn't until I graduated is when Angel, Justin, and Berto were freshmen there at Irvin, and I was already long gone.
Okay.
And they continue to start, Berto.
Yeah, so around December of that year, some guy from Star City Studios, a studio on the west side, well known, Eric Bozeman. He came by telling us, "Hey, we have a lot of opportunity over here." He told us a lot about that stuff, and then at the very end, he does this really sick drum solo, and I'm hearing it, and I'm getting this vision in my mind, like I think it's time to make music. A few months go by, I talked to Justin. After all that died down, I talked to Justin. I'm telling him, "Hey, man, thinking of getting a band together. Can you be my guitarist?" He says, "Yes." Like, okay. I start telling one of my best friends, who's actually Dave's brother, and I'm telling him about the plans, and he's telling me, "Hey, my brother looking for a band too. He's a vocalist." So, I give it a shot. I go over to their house, and that's one of the first times that I really met Dave. I knew of Dave, but we never really talked person to person that much. It wasn't until this time I met him. I liked his vocals. He liked my playing, and then we got Justin in.
You guys made out.
What's up? We got Justin in, and then later on we got Angel, but Angel had something going on with another huge band, Night Shift. He was their guitarist, and we felt like we can't take him away from that. We kept moving forward. We got another friend of ours to go in, and then later on we got Caleb in. Caleb had left for a while, but in the meantime we did work on trying to write. The first song ever was Going Insane. The second song ever was Broken. And for about a year, we had those two songs up until the very end. It wasn't until the end of that year, early 2020, is when we found this 15-year-old drummer on Craigslist. It sounds very weird to say, but it is what happened. Johnny,
It was either a 15-year-old kid wanting to live the dream and just who cares if anybody buys me, or it was some 40-year-old dude that was still living the dream. It's like you gotta pack it up.
Hey,
Yeah.
easy with the 40-year-old.
But we get to the house and
Shoot, I remember when we found the first this that because you hit me up because I was in the band and I left the band and I got back into the band. But when I left the band, you guys we need another drummer. Yo, Caleb, do you know anybody? And I remember I just searched through Craigslist, lazy as hell, hungover, and I was like, I found the first ad that was there. And it was just, hey, I play anything from blues, rock, all the way to metal. And I was sent that to you, Berto, and then you hit him up, and then I didn't hear from you guys for almost half a year.
it kicked off well. Like our first impressions of Johnny were like, this kid's a beast. This kid got everything. He learned our songs after just hearing them like 2 or 3 times. He could immediately play the digital drum tracks that we had for him. But Johnny, what did you think of us?
Let me try to recollect here. All right. Yeah. So, when I met these guys, before I met them, actually, I was at the house the day of, and in our backyard, my parents' backyard, and I had set up my drum kit in the backyard, and so they shot me a text, and hey, we're coming down there, and so I just set up my kit, practiced a little, so they got there shortly enough, and well, the rest is history with that. But when I first met them, uh, I thought, I mean, I'm trying to remember what I actually felt.
Were you nervous?
Yeah,
You were nervous?
I was a little nervous for sure. At first, I saw Davester. He had a big beard and stuff.
He's a little intimidating.
Yeah, he was a little intimidating. I was like, oh, what am I getting myself into, right? And so I saw the rest of the band, and they were a bit younger. So I'm like, oh, okay, alrighty. Well, I guess I'll get along with these guys. So we started playing, and they showed me the demos and everything, and we just started jamming from there. One of the first songs we actually played together collectively was "Blind." Uh, it's a cover of Korn's "Blind." That was pretty awesome. Yeah, and we've been together ever since.
So it's like 2020 during COVID at this point, or
And just before,
Right before COVID.
right in March, right going into March of 2020.
It was right before COVID because you're the reason why I came back. You and I.
That was during COVID when I called you to come back. It was during the summer.
Yeah, well,
so you were in the band and you left?
Yeah, I was in the band and I left, and then we went to go see Escape. I went to go see Escape the Fate with my brother and my cousin, and I'm over here talking to Robert Ortiz's cousins who actually work at Speaking Rock, which is where the show was being held. And out of nowhere, I feel somebody lift me up from my booty cheeks, high about like a foot up. And I'm about to swing on somebody. And I look around. Oh, it's Davester. Hey, Davester. He's like, hey, what's up? A week later, he calls me up. I was like, hey, you haven't left for whatever the hell you're going to do yet. I was like, no, I haven't. He's like, you want to join the band? I was like, hell yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And then, yeah, so if it wasn't for Escape the Fate and you sticking your finger like somewhere it wasn't supposed to go, Davester, like I probably wouldn't be here right now.
So you guys collaborate a lot during COVID. Now, were you guys able to focus, just lock in because there were no gigs going on, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so basically during that time, we knew we weren't going to be getting shows because everything was locked down. So we would rehearse every Sunday against COVID lockdown rules. We would still rehearse every Sunday from the morning to the afternoon when it got dark. So I had to take them home, and we would just do it for like literally almost 8-10 hours, just jamming songs, like literally having like our own concert sets in Johnny's living room. And that's what we were doing, to the point where we got so many of the covers down to a T that we could play them with even without rehearsal, to the point where a lot of our originals we were starting to like really get them down and add on to them and then come up with more. And from there, basically just we became very solid and very what's that word, tight. There you go. Very tight when it came to our music. And that's something we've really been like notified of from other bands and other people, like how tight we are. And without in-ears, just the floor monitors, sometimes we don't even have floor monitors, but we're still so tight that it's really just it's really nice to hear because of all the hard work that we put in.
And I've seen the bad monitors still make it work.
Oh yeah, trust
You
me.
should have seen us with two guitarists. Thank God for Angel.
So, you guys started doing covers. So, like, how long into you guys were jamming doing covers? How long into you guys to start writing originals, or was it always part of the process?
Well, we already had a couple originals, but we were doing more covers just so we can have something else with the couple originals that we already had. And we recorded some of those originals as demos just to have, and they've changed over they changed over the course of the time that we were like doing all basically the covers. And then as well as we kept doing that, we just kept writing more and more. And then just luckily Johnny had all the recording stuff to do there in his house, and we really made it work. And I mean, Justin is really like the leading point of when it comes to writing riffs for like our originals.
I've heard that from Vernie. Yeah.
Yeah, at least for the first album. Those first couple of demos that we written, as mentioned before, Going Insane, Broken, I want to say Virus and Run were kind of the big four that we first started writing. And it was a big kind of learning curve, I think, for all of us, learning song structures. I mean, because like you said, for the most part, we were just kind of learning covers, and it was just a real nice way of kind of expressing what we want to sound like and kind of growing from there. I feel like a lot of those songs in the beginning kind of sound way different from what they were and what you're hearing on the albums. And that paired with Johnny's know-how of recording and everything really kind of fell into place. And, everyone kind of clicking together and soon going on to writing their own parts was really something, to behold. It was just kind of really neat to see something that you kind of plant and just grow, sit back and just watch it grow into something, that we've made. It's
Now,
good.
you guys have a lot of originals, I know, but you still put covers in your sets. Is that just to get the mass appeal? Like, is to help you? Do you land more gigs because you're a mixture of both, or about what percentage? You about a third covers or 20% covers? How would you say? Or
We have a lot of covers actually.
Yeah,
if you're playing hour tight, let's say, like, what percentage would be covered? You think?
It depends on the bands we're playing with, actually.
We mix it up. We checked with the bands we're playing with. We're like, okay, should we do a little more covers to, kind of match with them, or should we just go in with our own stuff? Should we do half and half? We like to check that out and then, test the water, see. at the show, how the crowd is about it, how they feel, and you can just think about that for the next.
Yeah, most importantly, we go with the event's genre.
All right.
Like who we're opening for, you know? Like do they play thrash, metalcore, you know, whatever. And we have kind of like a catalog of covers that kind of sort of cover those metal subgenres, because we do play a lot of metal shows.
I know you guys do like Metallica, Rage, name a few.
Yeah, some Linkin Park,
Bullet.
Bullet for My Valentine. We have a couple AC/DC in there.
Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters, that's another one. We've also done Lamb of God. Trying to think of like a couple more. Slayer. Slipknot, that's one of them. We have the BC Boys one, yeah.
Is any big band you think of?
Yeah.
AC/DC. AC/DC.
I mentioned that already. Whole Lot of Johnny.
Well, you had one Ozzy, but I had to ixnay that one.
Oh yeah, Bark at the Moon, the Ozzy cover. Yeah, we've done that a couple times. Yeah, we have a wide range of music cover wise, so that way we can fit any band that we play, as well as it just shows like how talented we are, that we're not just considered one genre of music. We can do anything because we're not just like metalcore musicians. We're just musicians in general. You know, we can play and adapt to anything and turn it into Among the Living style and just have fun.
So rehearsal wise, home base still at Johnny's house or?
No, once we started playing shows, we were actually rehearsing at Caleb's house, at his trailer.
Yeah, I have a trashy old trailer in Chaparral where there's no noise ordinance, no
There's nothing there. No, I used to volunteers there as firefighters.
Yeah, there's really nothing there. Neighbors don't really give a crap. You can go ahead and make as much noise as you want to, and you know what? It's pretty cool. Yeah, so I actually got that place because we needed a place to go ahead and rehearse. And I was 18 years old, and I was like, shoot, I don't want to live at Dad's house anymore. I don't live at Mom's house anymore. I want my own rules. So I moved right next door to him. You know, go figure.
Yeah, take that back. You guys had Big Mama's Chinese food. The jalapeno beef kicks.
I'll be honest with you, Big Mama's Chinese food. We ordered because Justin and I are roommates. Funny story. We'll get into that later. But Big Mama's Chinese food, we ordered out there once, and we were not.
Sadly disappointed.
They messed up
our. It's so bad because I heard it was so great.
Yeah, they messed up our order. The egg rolls were soggy. And I'm just pretty sure they're having a bad day. You know, shout out to Big Mama's Chinese food because it's the only Chinese food place anywhere close to Chaparral. But I don't recommend it.
Hey, when I was there, it was Big Mama's, Papa's Pizza, and the snack bar. That was our options.
Now you got Subway.
Oh yeah, that was there too. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you got Subway, and then a lot of legal weed now, which is crazy.
So when you COVID 2020. So when did you guys start gigging more regularly? Was it 2021 or?
It was in 2021. It was November of 2021.
November 9th.
We started with house parties in the middle of 2021. Right. Our very first test out on, hey, this is a show that we're going to fully rehearse every second, every minute, and see what we can do.
And everyone was 6 feet apart with a mask on, right?
Sure. we totally were. We started with that house party. About a month later, we played for a Father's Day show at a party hall. A few months go by, something did happen that, had us sort of separate. I don't know if we should really go over it, but within that time, we did meet Angel to fill in for our guitarist, Justin. And Justin needed some time, a few months, and we started getting accustomed with Angel. It was kind of easy because he was already our buddy from high school. And he's a great guitarist like Justin too. These guys are insane. And and
it wasn't until he came back.
It wasn't until he came back.
When Justin came back is when we were like, thank you, Angel, for helping us out. But
mid-October.
Back, and then we were like, hey, do you guys want to keep him in? And then we go to talk to Angel, hey, instead of you just filling in for that, do you want to just stay with us? And Angel's just like, dude, I've been waiting for you guys to tell me this all the way back since 2019. And we just turned into a 6-piece. And then after that, we just kept rehearsing, hoping for a show. And then we struck gold here at the Rock House because of Angel.
Yeah.
Angel, tell us more about it.
Yeah. So basically what happened was there's this band. Quick shout out, Death Gravity. The
Good
singer
guess.
Chris, he posted up onto Facebook because I had him on there, seeing to see if he was trying to see if there was any bands that were available for that night for the show to fill in, and I was so you know, I
What, this is
just
2021 or
this was the 2021
the
show.
November 19th one Frank's talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
November 19th.
The very first official non-house party
Very
gig.
first. It was posted up to Facebook. Any bands need to fill in. It's tomorrow night. I sent it to the guys. They're like, oh no, what's it the day of? It was the day of, huh? Yeah, it was. It was same day. We decided, yeah, we could fill in for the show, and then yeah, after that, we became like a huge shake here at the Rock House. We became like instant favorites. It was pretty sick.
Now, not to get too far off topic, but you were in both. At this time, you're in two bands. You're in night shift as well, right?
At this time, yes.
So how long were you night shift? I mean, or when did that start? And without getting too far off topic,
that started. What was it? Like
2017.
Like it was just like December 2018 is when the whole idea formulated, I guess, or like became set in stone when I went with my buddy Alan, who was also a guitarist in Night Shift. He was with the El Paso Symphony Orchestra. They're doing this whole Christmas thing, and so I became part of the segment. I was able to join in, and in there I met Ethan, who was a drummer as well. You know, I kind of tagged along to the whole idea of the band. And yeah, during that time, we, you know, because of, you know, the quarantine and all that, we weren't really doing anything at the time. So that's why I asked Amanda Living, like, hey, you guys want to do this show, instead of asking Night Shift, because we weren't doing anything at the time, no practice or anything.
Fernie, say something. I know you're chomping the bit. You got some.
No,
I see the brain working. Yeah, I know there's details.
yeah, no, you know what? I've got a lot of fond memories, you know, of when these guys started. I've got a lot of fond memories of when these guys started. It's just, it's something. They're all like my kids.
Well, one of them literally is.
Yeah, one of them literally is Caleb. Caleb, he really is my kid, you know. But yeah, I came along in March of 2020, and I remember that because it was right before they shut everything down. And oh God, when I came along, I told them, I said, man, there's going to be days that you're going to like me. There's going to be days you're going to love me. There's going to be days that you're going to want to take me out in the desert and bury me. And that's a big ass desert out there. And there was. I mean, I rode these guys hard.
That's what she says.
At the beginning, you know? Yeah, she did say that, huh? But, you know? But yeah, I rode these guys hard at the beginning. I used to give them homework.
What's a homework assignment from Fernie? I got to hear this.
Well, yeah, don't suck. Because when I came along, and you know what? I'm going to throw them under the bus. When I came along, it was just 5 of them. Angel wasn't along yet. And they said, hey, check this out. What do you think? They played, and they weren't bad, but at first they sounded to me like they were all playing a different song at the same time.
So bad.
You know? And so what I started doing was giving them homework. Like, I asked them how many beats per minute each song was. And then I tasked them with the week to go home and practice this music to a click track. So when they come back on Saturdays, and they would practice on Saturdays, this was back in 2020 at Johnny's house, they would practice on Saturdays. I don't know if you guys remember, from what, about 10 o'clock, Johnny?
To like 7, 8.
10 o'clock till about 7 or 8 in the evening.
Damn.
They would, but they would put in work. They would put in work. And like I had told them, I said, you know, if you guys really want to do something with this is your job. It's not party time. And they took it seriously. They took it upon themselves seriously. But a homework assignment was to go home, practice on the click track, come back, and then play the music. But these guys, they're musicians, just like Davester was saying. They're just straight up musicians. You know, they're not a bunch of guys that play music. These guys are straight up musicians.
That's right. So 2021, y'all start gigging more. I got to know you guys in 2022 when I was doing the Detour shows, and you know, I had many conversations, and I remember you gave me a sneak peek of some of the recordings. I think I still have those waves.
Oh
on this
yeah.
computer. And then eventually, well, I know you guys were shopping around looking for different tours and, potential deals. And you guys eventually dropped that. Well, it's part of your album now, but was a 4-song or 5-song EP.
Yep.
I remember buying that at Spring Fling. Was it 2023?
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's correct. The Spring Fling.
We tore the house down there.
No, you did.
Oh, yeah.
You guys didn't open, but you were on earlier, and you guys had a whole entourage of people moshing. It was like no interaction. Then Among the Living, chaos, and then back to no interaction.
Oh yeah, and you know what? That happens at a lot of the games. It happens at a lot of them. And
Yeah, not to be kind.
no, not at all, not at all. And much respect and props to all the bands we played with. They're all good. They're all talented. One thing that these guys really do and are good at is involving the audience.
Oh, hell yeah.
They make the audience feel like they're part of the show. These guys play, and they play for the fans.
Yeah, we don't go up
And
there
they
just
perform
play the music.
No.
Perform.
Yeah, we don't go up there and just play the songs how they're supposed to be played. We go up there and perform the songs the way Among the Living would perform them, and we just fun. The more the crowd,
having fun. Yeah, and that's what they've always done. They've always involved the audience.
Yeah, if you've ever been to a show here, Caleb and Angel, Caleb especially, you guys are always in the crowd playing wireless. One of my early memories of Caleb here, it was a detour show. I forget which one, because you guys played several times for me. But Caleb gets on a table to play. Table was not secure. We had to fall and grab his leg we had to grab his leg before he fell and busted his ass and hold him up there while he was playing.
saved us from a bad night.
Yeah. So, like, it's funny because we all come from different musical backgrounds. Like, I know Berto's a huge thrash metal historian. I mean, you can go ahead and like ask him anything about anything that's thrash, and he just knows it like as if you studied it. Angel, he's crazy, he's crazy wicked on the guitar. Everything he plays is just so perfect. I can't really go explain it. Justin's so beautiful when he plays. See, I came from a long line of just I was raised on 80s hair metal, so either you do stupid shit and get hurt and like put on a good show, or nobody's gonna remember your name. And yeah, I remember that show because I believe it was you and Daniel Xavier that went ahead and grabbed my leg right before I was about to eat ass off of a table with the owner right there asking, "What the fuck are you doing on my table?" and shit like that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That other time we had the show at the Rabbit Hole. Rabbit
That was
Hole,
right after Spring Fling.
and we had Caleb and Angel soloing on top of the bar.
The opposite bar. Like the stage is on one side and the bar's on the other, and these two are on the opposite end of the bar.
What song was that? It was
It was Party Hardy.
was it Party Hardy? I could have sworn. What was the? When did you guys do it? You guys did a Cowboys from Hell. Oh, we did that at no, but also at what's it called? A Love Buzz.
Yeah, but no,
We did
the Cowboys from Hell at Albuquerque when he and I got on the bar as well.
yeah, and I remember at Love Buzz too. You guys did it there too. They have this like small table in the middle of like the place, and they had a circle pit going around it during the songs. Unbelievable. To actually make a circle pit in there with no room in that bar, but they made it happen. Unbelievable.
That's crazy. With Love Buzz, you have this tiny bar, then you have this like backyard that's like 5 times the size of the actual building.
And then they decided to have shows in the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this with us being a 6-piece, like the stage itself can only hold our amps and the drums. That's it. All of us had to play on the floor with the crowd. I mean, being engaged with the audience like that is so much fun. Like it's amazing. And when we performed, it was just unbelievable. I can't wait to go back to Love Buzz and play again. But watching these guys solo on different tables, get a circle pit going, and they even mosh with the audience. I've seen them, Caleb, Berto, and Angel, Caleb would put his guitar down and then go mosh in there, and I see them, all three of them moshing. I'm just like, you guys are crazy. Sometimes I get in there too, but I lose jewelry and then I'm running back on stage.
Shoot, we had one person go ahead and break a rib in one of our pits.
Where was that at?
Here at the Rock House.
Yeah, at our album release party, we had a Wall of Death open up.
I was there.
Yeah,
I
and
remember
then,
Broken Rib.
yeah. The only reason I know that is because it was one of our buddies that went ahead and broke his rib. He's like, "Yo, I had to call off of work. You assholes." I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry, but hey, Timmy."
So he
Oh,
knows
so
something
you're
until he got
close.
home. Like nobody knew about it until afterwards. Or?
No, he felt discomfort, and then he got back to his house, and he works at the medical industry. Like he works in the medical industry. So when he goes to work, he's like, "Hey, can I hop on the X-ray table?" Like, yeah. Yo, you broke a rib, my guy. What the hell are you doing?
That was a good night then.
All of our shows are good nights.
All right, so you mentioned the album release party. Now I'm not gonna. Well, a couple things I want to say here. First of all, you guys are my favorite band. I enjoy watching you guys. Also, you guys are very reliable and dependable. And you might not get enough credit for this. And this sounds petty, but you guys are a 6-piece. You guys load in and out quick. There are smaller bands in this town that could take a fucking lesson from that, dude. No, I'm serious, dude. As a promoter, I appreciate it. And other bands fucking drive me crazy.
Well, what we also do too is we also help other bands load in and out too.
We have a system though to load in and load out.
Yeah, we help other bands too while they're like loading out. We'll help them stand there to load out their gear before we load in ours, and just vice versa. We're here to help each other. We're here to support each other, and that's what we do. Even after our shows, we'll still come back inside and support the other bands that are performing too.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I see you guys on the bar.
Yeah, definitely not easy to pull off though. Like you said, 6 people, but also like stage props and all that. I know last time we brought out smoke machines and different stage props, and it's a lot to move, but try to get it done. Make the night go as even as possible.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes.
we know what it's like to be on that end where you're just waiting for the other band to get their stuff off, and there's like 15-minute load-in times between bands. Like, come on, hurry up. And then they're taking their time, wrapping their cables up nicely, and then taking their stuff very slowly. And then we have like 5 minutes left to just get everything up there, do a quick sound check so we don't lose any time on our own set. So we know that pain, and we're not trying to cause that to any other bands either. So we have our system. We have some people who will get up on stage and ready, some people who's already transferring the stuff, and then immediately just get to it once everything is on stage, do a quick sound check, and then just like that.
No, because I appreciate it, because without naming names here, I had a benefit show and you guys really covered my ass because I had a band with some issues. You guys went on early and you played late and you really covered a sense, and you guys are super defendable, and I get you guys enough for little things like that.
You asked us to do another 15, 30 minutes, I believe so, right? We're supposed to do only 30 minutes, but you asked us to do 45, to help cover. And I remember during the set, as we're performing our set, Caleb walks up to us and he's like, "Yo, Michael Devon just gave us 45. We need to come up with 3 more songs." And Caleb pitched 3 songs on the spot, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it." And he pitched it to the rest of the band walking by, and everybody agreed. And then we just on the fly, instead of doing the last 2 songs of our set, we did those 3 songs right there, and we hadn't rehearsed them, but we knocked it out of the park because we know these songs like the back of our hand, and it was just on the fly. And anything to help you out, as well as because you've helped us out, putting us on a show. Even though we had to play at 1:30 in the morning, we didn't think we were going to be able to play. When you put us at, I was 1:30. You put us
1:15, yeah.
You put us on that time. We're you snuck us in, literally just barely made time for us, which was amazing. But I didn't think we were going to be able to play because it was so late, and how the times differ from load in, load out. But you made it happen too. We actually played early instead of the time you gave us, a couple minutes earlier, which is more than enough to still have a great show.
Hey, Bunny said music till 1. He didn't give me a cutoff, so
right. If I can go ahead,
at least till 1.
Because you brought up the fact that we go ahead and load in and load out so quickly, I want to go ahead and shout out some names, because these people actually they're just friends and family. We don't pay them, we don't even buy them drinks or anything like that. They just show up. They're gonna help us out and all that stuff, and they actually are the ones that go ahead and help make sure that we get that we get loaded in and loaded out all that time, in that short amount of time. One of them is Beto Delgado, Berto's dad.
He was always fun, isn't it?
Davester's buddy John, our buddy Michael, who was in the band, but then he went to Pizza Hut. Fernie, Fernie, not our manager Fernie, but the Davester's buddy Fernie, Eddie, my brother Josh.
You better shout out his mom, dude.
Yeah, dude, Berto's mom's a bad motherfucker, dude.
Parents are just so supportive.
She will help carry the stuff, but more importantly, she will be there with drinks and snacks, sometimes entire meals. She'll bring cold water for us on the stage. Sometimes warm waters, because the singing.
It's always cold water.
I tell her, but they're always in the cooler. But sometimes she'll even come, with full-on tacos, a whole plate of tacos, a giant plate of spaghetti even. I think it was Thanksgiving, spaghetti and bread and everything. So dude, huge shout out to you guys. I know you guys will be hearing this later, and we appreciate y'all.
We're nothing without our support group, the fans and everything too. We can do so much as a band and as brothers and perform on stage and give a great performance, but if it's not for our support group, our family, our friends that help us out with the merch, load in, load out, and also just help us get around, because Berto sometimes has to use his parents' van so we can move the gear around. And it's just, without any of that, without our parents, like friends, and of course our manager, like there's a lot of stuff we couldn't be able to do and couldn't be able to pull off. So we're nothing without them. They're just as much as a part of Among the Living as we are. They carry the name as well. And behind the scenes, they're doing so much more than people know and people see. We do the stuff on the stage. Yeah, we write the music, we work hard, we rehearse and everything. But when it's behind the scenes for certain things like merch, um, banners, like certain things, like even props that we use, like our support system behind us, like really help out so much behind the scenes with that to where we can actually put off on stage and give the crowd a bigger performance with other things. But like I said, like so much props to them. Like we couldn't do this without them.
It takes a village, right?
Yeah, it really does.
I just want to ask you guys a little question here. We're not going to name any names or anything, but you guys,
Johnny.
was it 2022, 2023? You guys, or I guess you guys signed to a record label.
Yeah,
2020. You put the album out. So give me, and then that with the album doing all right in sales wise, right? I don't know. I'll let you take it from there.
It was doing all right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was there. You know, we're trying to get more exposure, and that's what we're just trying to do, put out more shows and more merch, just trying to expose more, but you know, just kind of like stalled out for a while.
And the album dropped in December 2023, right? Or
November.
October. That was like November.
November.
17th, 2023. I thought it was October.
No, it was November. We
got signed in October.
Yeah, we dropped the album on like as close as possible, or I think on the date to our very first performance here at the Rock House is when we dropped the album on the exact same date.
So when you guys got signed, did you guys do most of it on your own? Then you got signed and like pressed it, or how does it work?
Yeah, exactly it. We did a lot of the recording and stuff out of our own pocket. It wasn't until that maybe a couple months leading up to it being released that we had gotten in contact from an individual from Muzzle Records.
I wasn't gonna go there, but you said it.
Might have
Muzzle on it, Justin.
Sorry.
Can we
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. Sure. We had gotten word from a label who wanted to help us out, and they had worked with where we had recorded recently, and they were really helpful in the beginning. Putting together ideas. They had come up with the album art and everything, and went as far as to stream it for us, on certain platforms and all of that. And so yeah, they really kind of helped out, got the ball moving.
And then it just stalled out for a while. Like there were certain things that we were having questions on about shows and whatnot, and feedback from them would take quite a while, and sometimes it would be mixed things from what we would have during the meetings with them, and we were still doing shows, but it felt more like we weren't allowed to be ourselves. We had to just be what they wanted us to be, even though they told us we could be ourselves. It felt like we were really stalled and we weren't really going anywhere. And as time went on with merch and everything, letting us do it on our own, there was just so much miscommunication. And like after a while doing shows, stressing, year went by, and we're trying to make the next album because we needed to make a couple albums for them, that we really just were forcing the music and no longer having fun, where it was just stress 24/7 and nobody could bring anything to the table because we were just so beat. We were just like drained from the music.
We had issues too, like even with our physical copies of our album. It was very difficult to.
Yeah, your mom might have
get
said
a
things
hold of them.
about that.
Yeah. We could not get a hold of them like so often. Even when we requested like a full case, we got like 15 instead. And there were even issues with the people who ordered our album online. They just were not getting them delivered at all. We had questions and then we weren't getting answers back, and it was very tedious.
Yeah, I was one of those customers. Thank you for my free copy that I didn't ask for. So I'm at even now.
Yeah, mostly like the excuse was there was the third party that was having trouble with it. You're waiting for them to fix it. Still wasn't getting feedback from them. The people still hadn't gotten their CDs. So we went and told them again, and then we ended up getting the answer of, well, this is the album we made before them. That's not like, yeah, they were able to put it out for us, but it's not like it doesn't count for like their albums to literally like be on top of it like they're supposed to. And that's why like a lot of people like missed out on what they paid for never received them, but we got in touch with those people that didn't receive them, and we went out of our way to sign the CDs personally, so that way when they got it and hand deliver them, so that way we made sure that everybody who supported us, that we showed them that their support doesn't go unnoticed.
You guys are good dudes.
Yeah, a bit of a bummer, but also an eye opener. That kind of entire time I feel like taught us that music, writing, playing, recording, and performing that's like 10% of the job. There's so much else that goes into merch, coming up with designs, finding vendors who will work with us, and all of that. That it was really yeah, it was really, like I said, just an eye opener to know that a lot of this stuff is just part of the job. We'll have to do it. Since then we've been kind of straying away from the labels and such, and working on our own things, hopefully working more independently with people here in El Paso, and just continue to write music.
So, from Caleb, you told me as of about a month or two ago, you guys are officially free agents. Is that safe to say, or is that correct?
In all honesty, the record label that we're under, I couldn't find Fernie and I, or my dad and I, we couldn't find the LLC or anything like that. So as of right now, we are pretty much free agents. Yeah. It was kind of a rude awakening to go ahead and wake up and realize that, hey, the record label you signed to is no longer there. The music that you went ahead and put out on a streaming site's no longer there.
It's on your Spotify?
No, they took it off. Everything's gone. It was a rude awakening. It's like, wait a second here. We're trying to hold up our end of the bargain, but wasn't really mutual as my other compadres were saying. It was just, so as of right now, yeah, we are free agents. We are going to go ahead and put in the work and all that stuff. Right now, we are happily independent, but if anybody wants to go ahead and pay some attention, we're not going to go ahead and say no. But yeah,
and we weren't the only ones affected either. When we found this out, somewhere like middle of April, maybe they don't want to be named, but these other bands that were signed under this label, their albums gone from Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, everything. The website for this label completely gone. The socials for this label completely gone. They're just off the face of the earth in a day. And we don't know how exactly they handle it either.
No fair warning.
No warning at all. Yeah, as far as we know, we had no word, but I would probably assume the same thing happened to these other bands as well.
So, is there any songs that you upload? I assume you guys had some songs uploaded prior to the signing.
Yes, we did.
Fair to say? Were those affected, or are they still up there?
No, those are still up there.
Those are still up there because we uploaded them on our own distributor.
Now, are you in the process of re-uploading the album, or does that get tricky legally?
At the moment, it's not more of a legal issue. It's more of a let's make a few changes that we wanted to make kind of issue. We're still in the talks of should we make these changes? How should we make these changes? And then thinking about releasing it ourselves, maybe.
No, yeah, of course. Like within due time, that's our first album is going to be re-released under our own. But as of right now, we're just on like you said, the whole legal stuff and everything. We're just, once the smoke clears, that album's going to be the first thing that comes out. And then within, who knows, less than a year, maybe even months, that second album will be right behind it.
I was about to ask you, what's that? You guys about halfway or more done with the sophomore album, right?
We're pretty much done with it. We just need to record it. But like I said, this legal stuff is just holding us back just because we're waiting. And right now we're just having fun because we missed out on that. But that second album's ready to go. And we've been playing a couple songs from live, and there's a handful of other songs that we haven't played.
But there's fantastic response.
Yes, oh my God, the audience we've received so much amazing, positive criticism from the fans about the new songs that we've been performing, that it really has been motivating us with the route that we're taking, with the sound that we're kind of starting to form as our own. And it's unbelievable. Just, it's really motivating.
All right. Get rid of the mic. He's about to die over here again. I see your eyes, man. Give him the mic. You want to add on?
It's because he's wearing a suit and it's hot in here, and his hemorrhoids are acting up now. And
if I may add, I did go ahead and tell these guys, even though we're in this really hot, sweaty room, that I brought baby powder for their swamp ass, but nobody wanted to partake, so that's on them.
Yeah, well, regarding their sophomore album and how we're going to do it. I've been reaching out. I've been trying to get some responses. If that doesn't happen, well, you know what? We're going to need to step into the studio, cut the sophomore album, and it's got to get done. You know, it's got to get done.
So right now, do you have just a scratch tracks right now, or how? So no masters are done, or the second album. It's just all
No,
scratch
right
tracks,
now
or-
nothing's been done other than that they've written them. They've already gone ahead and played them a couple of times. Sure. Yeah, you got scratch tracks, right? Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the songs that we haven't played yet live yet, they're ready to go too as well. We could play those songs live, but like we don't want to just play the entire album beforehand for everybody to hear. There's some songs that we want to keep in the chamber until the album drops. So that way when we do play those songs, they hit a lot differently compared to what people already hear from this album.
I mean, at the Spring Fling this year, you guys
We
played some of the you put right. They went ahead and tested live some of those new songs.
quite a bit.
And you got a hell of a response. But you guys get a hell of a response everywhere you play.
Well, that second Spring Fling show was insane. The dirt storm, coming out of the dirt storm, then you had it was rainy, cloudy, cold. After midway through our set, the clouds finally clear up, the wind is gone. And then when we're done, ready to load, or unload from the stage, the dang mountains have snow on them. And it was like, we were playing through all of this. This was called the Spring Fling. There's nothing spring about this.
But
That's right.
you know what?
So the New Mexico.
The thing is that the band didn't notice, and neither did the fans.
That's awesome. I wish I would have been there. I had my own show here that night, unfortunately, but I missed out.
Yeah,
I had my leather jacket on
but
for
the
the first two
fans
songs.
didn't notice. The fans had a blast, and like you were saying earlier,
this
chaos,
sound difficulties. Remember?
Chaos. There was the chaos. The
there was
circle
twice.
pit. Remember the circle pit that was going?
But there was the sound difficulties twice. Remember that during that set, the power went out twice.
All the power
because
went out.
we were just too powerful. And then we ended up playing an acoustic a cappella kind of show halfway through until the sound came back on. But we still put everything on.
But you know what? Yeah, the power did go out, and these guys just went ahead and adapted.
So you don't need the David Lee Roth. You need the no brown M&Ms in your rider. That when they read the paperwork, they know how much power.
Well, you know what?
Speaking of David Lee Roth,
Here's the thing, right? You mentioned David Lee Roth, and one of the things he's known for is being a hell of a front man, right? I mean, he must be the front man, David Lee Roth. Van Halen, especially the David Lee Roth era, is my favorite for sure. But back then, some of that homework that we were talking about earlier, what I would tell Davester, you remember Davester? What I would tell you? Perform to the wall at Johnny's house.
As if there was 10,000 people in front of us.
That's right.
And I would put on a show.
And he would. In that room, when he would rehearse, he would engage the wall. It sounds funny. It sounds silly.
You should record it. And I can see a YouTube channel now.
Oh, I've got video of all this.
Yeah,
the Davester wall episode 1.
I look like a blind man looking out the window.
Yeah, he did. He looked like a blind man looking out the window, but he did.
And after every single practice that we ran those sets of me just going all out into that wall, we still had trouble hearing my voice. And Fernie would know that, hey, you have the talent, but we just can't hear you. And it came to the point where they might have to find you from him because it felt like I wasn't cutting it when I was so upset because I'm like, no, I am cutting it. You got to be kidding me. So they went through everything and they went out of their way to get a PA system so they can actually hear my voice. And after we ran that rehearsal after that, Fernie came up and talked to me and he was just like, you know what? Yeah, you can, we can hear you now.
Do you know what happened?
What happened?
What happened was also, before I told him I could hear him and everything was going great, he was singing. This was the Pizza Hut day. This was actually the Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut's oh.
Okay.
Yeah, tell the
All
whole
right.
story.
You know, for 2 years after that day in 2020, for about 2 years, yeah, they wouldn't go with me to Pizza Hut. Because the one time I took them to Pizza Hut, 2 people were getting fired from the band. Because one thing I told them, I said, look, you know what? We're going to put something together. Going to get rid of what's not working. We did everything, like Dave Sir was saying, we did everything we could to help Dave Sir. I got him a PA, got him a mic, got him all sorts of stuff, everything. And it wasn't cutting it. And then all of a sudden, we broke for lunch. We're getting ready to go. Aerosmith came on. And Dave Sir started singing, just out of the blue. And I sat there listening. And I was like, okay, the kid can sing.
So were you questioning him at the time, or was he on the chopping block? Or
Oh no, he was on the chopping block. That day we were getting rid of 2. And you know, the one that we did get rid of, we gave him every opportunity as well. We really did. But Dave Sir was on the chopping block. We had a guitar player that was on the chopping block. This was a 5-piece band at the time. Angel wasn't with us. And
we were a
but-
6-piece at that time. It was 6-piece.
oh, with the other
For a short time.
yeah.
that's right. With the other guitarist that we were trying
During
to
that time was when you're like, okay, we're gonna give him that chance.
That's right.
Shout out Mikey. We love you, buddy.
That's right. Shout out to Mikey. You know what? He's awesome. And I still consider him one of my kids. You know, no hard feelings about it.
He still
No,
supports.
yeah, he's one of the guys that was shouted out for helping with the load in, load out. But Dave Sir really thought it was going to be him. That, you know, we went to Pizza Hut that day. But the thing was that Aerosmith came on,
what song was it? Dream?
Dream On, Dream On. And Dave Sir just started singing because he loves Aerosmith. He just started singing. It wasn't into a mic. It wasn't into anything.
I feel like there needs to be an Aerosmith cover now on your stage show.
Oh,
done.
They have. They have.
That song exact, actually.
They have. But Dave Sir, I listened to him. Caleb was telling me, "Are you hearing this?" I'm like, "I am." Kid can sing, but he's got to put that kind of heart into his own music that he's writing. So that day after Pizza Hut, Dave Sir and I had a little talk, and he was able to breathe again, and he put his heart into it, and the rest is history.
You all right, Dave Sir? I feel like we're drumming up a bad memory here. This is a PTSD.
Right, it was a little PTSD, man. It's like he was at Desert Storm or some shit.
I'm thinking about all the cuss words I said to that wall every time you said you couldn't hear me. That poor wall in Johnny's living room, man.
We couldn't hear the cuss words either.
You know, one thing though is I am sad because Pizza Hut has been the running joke about, hey, if you go to Pizza Hut, expect to get fired. And it sucks because I want to go with these people to Pizza Hut.
And fire yourself.
Because it's good pizza. It's good pizza. But everyone's scared. Everyone's scared.
I guess I was the only one to out Pizza the Hut, huh?
I'm sorry. After that, we'd be like, hey, where do you guys want to go eat? Not Pizza Hut.
Papa John. Little Caesars.
But we love you, Mikey. We love you, dude.
No, but yeah, that's the running joke about
So is
Pizza
it Peter
Hut.
Piper now? Is that safe? The lunch buffet?
Yeah. No, Pizza Hut's good. Pizza Hut's good. You know,
Any other pizza is great. Like we'll still eat pizza. We just don't go eat in the restaurant.
Oh, got you.
If we order takeout, that means you're not getting fired. You're just getting a warning.
No, honestly, I've got a huge confession to make to all y'all. Since Justin and I do also work together as well as we live together, as well as you spend like almost every friggin' hour. We do occasionally go and get pizza without getting fired at Pizza Hut.
I'm not there.
Yeah, he's selling houses. Of course he's not.
Yeah, I'm not there.
Am I wrong?
I mean, you're
But
not
it's
wrong.
Peter Piper, huh? You guys go for the buffet because it's right next door, huh? Yeah, exactly.
Peter Piper Fridays every day.
Sure.
On Friday.
I don't know. The soul
Yeah.
turning.
But yeah, with this next album, they're
So,
ready.
Next album release party, Pizza's gonna cater this shit. We're gonna make it happen, right?
Oh yeah, we'll get it catered for pizza. Don't
We'll do
make
it
any
at Pizza Hut.
promises.
Yeah.
Don't make any promises.
Let's do it at
guys.
Pizza Hut, actually.
Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck is up, Denny's?
What the fuck is up, Pizza Hut?
Shout out to Zane from that band with that, with the
Grand Slam.
Yo, y'all fucking kick ass, dude.
So, any other gigs coming up, or what can we expect in the near future? Do you have any summer gigs or anything on the horizon?
The eyes are peeled right now for recording the second album, getting it out just as fast as we can. I don't want to put too much of a time frame on it, but we really want to be able to get out this and the debut, primarily back to back, just because I feel like we're at a point now where we read it to where one kind of flows into the other. So that's really what's just on the mind.
You guys just was it last week, right? You guys just played here last week, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I was there
week,
at least for your
last
set.
Thursday.
I wasn't there for the rest of it.
Yeah, last Thursday that we performed here. But like going off of what Justin's saying, like we're trying to focus more on recording this next album, and just trying to get the first album that we had our debut released, so that way we can release the second album with it. But when it comes to shows, we never say no. Now we love playing shows, as long as it's within reason for like what we have going on in our lives, and we can perform it. Of course, we're gonna be there. If we can't perform it, then sorry we can't. But I guarantee you, like if you catch us whenever, you've done it before. We've told us days in advance, couple days in advance, maybe the day of, and we're still there, just like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
The first show they played, November 19th, right? 2021. Was that it?
Yeah.
2021, November 19th. They had, who was it that posted?
Yeah, Chris.
Chris from Death Gravity. Shout out to Death Gravity. He posted that they needed a band to play because they needed bands to play. Somebody had to cancel. Within 3 hours, these guys, that was their first show. After that, they ended up playing 4 shows that week. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, you just reminded me. I have a story to tell now. So I used to promote a Detour, and you guys played with me several times. So my partner quits on me, right? And so we cancel everything. And there's another band that says, no, we'll provide PA, boom, 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 whatever. We get there, day of,
Yep.
one of their band members has a panic attack, is like freaking out, cancels the whole thing. I was like, guys, I'm sorry, show's off. Let's just go to Rock House Party. Caleb, no, we're giving you a show. We're going to get our shit right now. These dudes truck back to Chaparral, grab their own PA, come in, set up, and fucking kill the joint, dude.
We were doing $120 on the way here.
Made a 40-minute drive in 15 minutes.
Yeah, dude. Damn it back.
Oh, wait. I
Legally,
just
of course,
did that.
legally.
No, when I say they're dependable, I don't make that shit up, dude.
I remember that day because like we get there and like it was a really shitty week for us because I forgot who was at whose throat and all that stuff. But we get there and it's like, no show? Nah, fuck that. Like, so like Justin and I go into my get into my shitbox Acura, and we're doing $120, $130 all the way there. We get to Chaparral in 7 minutes. It's a 25-30 minute drive. We get there in about 7 minutes. We load up, get back in about 10. Load up on all that stuff, and you know what? We're anything for Michael Devon,
No, I just remember that because that could have could have been a horrible night, you guys. I got to leave my last show Detour with you guys playing. I remember leaving there and I'd be in a happy mood, stopping at Matt's West Side Bar on the way home. That was this, dude. What could have been a really shitty night, you guys just made awesome, dude. Like, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, you've done a lot for us. You've supported us, and we support you back. And when it's something like this, which is just minor inconvenience, but there's a way that we can get out of it to still help you out. Any little window, yeah, of course we're gonna take it.
If I can say something real quick, Michael, I'm sure there's a show or two that you weren't able to make, but I can't think of a show that you haven't been at.
I've missed plenty. I try to make them, but I've missed plenty. I promise you that.
I'm sure
I missed Spring Fling.
I'm saying I'm sure you have, but me myself, I can't think of one. So we appreciate that. The band really appreciates that.
It's always a good time, man.
Because like Dave Sir was saying, without everybody, the band's nothing. They're nothing. But they put it on and the fans come, and that's what makes it all worth it. These guys, they put it out.
Yeah. Whether it's one person out there, 10 people out there, no one, or just even our family members, we go out there and perform like there's 10,000 people out there. We give it 110% to the point where that one person's moshing with his imaginary friends, and he believes that he's at, Rock and Ring, Rock and Rio, like whacking. Like he truly believes that he's there because we're not just playing it because like, oh, there's one person out there. Okay, I guess like whatever. No, we're still performing and yelling at that one person. Like, get your ass up on stage.
Ooh, you just made me think of something, dude. So you guys weren't eligible last year or last time. The Road to Walking because you guys were signed, but not your indie. If we get the Road to Walking local heat again,
The only Indian here is Justin.
If I may say something, like, yeah, if we're so down to go ahead and do that Battle of the Bands that they go ahead and do every year to go ahead and see who gets to go ahead and play out Wacken. We are so friggin' down. Whoever's in charge of that, if you guys need like a badass metal band to go ahead and like go up on the lineup, we're down. So yeah, make
if
it
you guys
happen.
are on, they're gonna let me judge this time. So
Shout out to Daniel Paulus.
Dude, shout out to Daniel Paulus, dude.
He was one of the judges.
oh yeah,
He was one of the judges a couple times, and he loved us, and he still supports us to this day.
yeah. Shout out to Danny Q Connected on Sundays.
If you don't tune into Q Connected, use a bitch.
And they actually plugged our shows. I had you guys a couple times. You got it plugged on there. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Daniel
Q.
Paulus is a real one, man. Like, hopefully, over there working for the KLQ, like, they really give them more creativity to like do more things for them over there because I believe promoting more shows here in El Paso to really just build up the music scene for the rock scene, it can go a long way because I know the rock scene here in El Paso is not as strong as it is anywhere else around the world, but there's so many amazing musicians here, especially for rock music, that have the potential to go everywhere, but we just don't have the support. And with more, just like basically promoting and actually showing what we're about, not just us, but everybody, like just giving the opportunity. If we can get people out here and El Paso starts growing bigger and bigger like that with the rock scene, like we can really show the world that, El Paso is everything.
I agree. I mean, that's one of the reasons I do this podcast. I mean, we have a lot of good talent. We just got to, the scene, it seems to go, attendance wise, seems to go up and down, but.
Yeah, it definitely fluctuates by trend. But I think Daniel Paulus and, of course, you, Mr. Devon, have done a really good job of kind of shining a light on a lot of these local bands, outside of just the metal, too, It's really beautiful how you come here and promote different artists and stuff beyond just music, too. Really cool.
Try it. Shout out to Mateo, man.
And Mateo, of course, the Rock House.
For allowing us to do the podcast here.
Yes,
And
sir.
shout out to Bunny. Without him, I got no sound production for you guys.
Speaking of Mateo, if I can go ahead and share something, man, because
Go
you
for
know
it.
what, that guy's he's a legend. He's personal friends with Dimebag Abbott and Vinnie Paul Abbott of Pantera and Damage Plan. But back in 2024, I lost my mom, and we were going through it pretty hard. We tried to figure out how to pay for the funeral, and Mateo hits us up because of Chris from Death Gravity, and Mateo decided that, hey, we're going to do a benefit show for Caleb's mom, and just the love and just the sheer just respect, admiration that they showed to us really opened my eyes as to how beautiful the world can be. Like, Mateo, we love you, brother. I hope you'll go ahead and we wish you a speedy recovery, my guy. You're a bad motherfucker.
This disease in the ass. You're
Yeah.
the strongest man we fucking
He is
know.
the
Yeah,
strongest
dude.
man.
Mateo, dude, we love you, man.
I say like the music scene can't compete with a sick man, dude. If he gets healthy, it's game over, dude.
Yeah, the music scene doesn't compete with like a guy that legitimately has an aggressive stage of a very aggressive disease, and he's still kicking its ass, dude.
Still being able to promote shows, put on like production music wise here with everything he does. It's just he's really been going out of his way to just really promote the rock music scene and just give every opportunity to anybody and everyone here, as well as other like, national bands that come through. He's just giving every opportunity to give everybody else a chance to shine because, you can tell he's not in it for the money. He's not in it for anything. He just loves music. And this rock music is honestly what's really giving him, the passion and the drive to keep going. And we love you, Mateo.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone who's played here, just me. I mean, I've never played here, but I mean, I do have podcasts here. I've been tattooed here. I mean, I'm a regular. I mean, it's a different when you come here and you feel that vibe. I mean, it's contagious. I mean, you feel the love and you just want to be a part of it, and you guys are a huge part of that.
The hospitality and just with this, the Rock House is home. Like every time we come and play here, it's home. Whether people are in and out worker wise, but it's just it feels like home. And we just come up here, the crowd, people, fantastic. And like I said, this is El Paso's home, and the Rock House has surely given us everything that not that we deserve, but they just given us every opportunity and so much love. So why we always come back here to keep performing every time they ask.
All right. Well, they appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys doing all my shows you guys have done. I know Angel's about to melt here, so anything else we need? You guys want to say before you get out of here?
What do you guys think? One message?
Yeah, and another thing to add about the Rock House, not only just everything we were just talking about, the hospitality and just being a really nice environment. The Rock House, as of a venue itself, it's actually really nice. We don't have the glory of Tricky Falls anymore, but with that, at least we have the Rock House. They got a nice stage set up for a bunch of things that you could do on there. It's a really neat place to
We've been
perform at.
spoiled.
Even the sound system also, everything is just super kick ass. We got awesome sound people. It's just like all around. It's a really good venue to.
Yeah, I think it is the best soundboard in town. Is that venue-wise? Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Speaking of
definitely.
sound, gotta have that. Shout out Bunny. Shout out Hector.
Shout out Bunny. Shout out Hector.
Yeah, without Bunny, I don't have any shows, so shout out to him.
Yeah, with everything going on, the stage, the speakers, the lights, Bunny and Hector and anyone else hired for this stuff, you can feel the love for not just the bands that come in and out, but even the locals that come and play here. They really care about wanting these bands to like get their music heard, their voices heard, and everything. It's really nice, and honestly, very glad that our first ever real show was here. It was a nice opening, a nice welcome
Right,
to
so I know
the
you know how
local
many
scene.
shows we played in total.
Oh yeah,
So since 2021 to 2025, from November 19th of 2021 to right now, June 20th of 2025, that's almost 4 years, 3 and some change. How many shows have we played in that time?
103.
That 3
Damn.
kind of felt, like ashamed. But the majority of those being at the Rock House, they've been so hospitable to us. And, if there was ever a time where they needed somebody to kind of fill in or anything real last minute, we've been always nothing but honored, that they reach out to us and us being one of their first choices. As everyone said, this place is taking real good care of us, and I hope it continues to thrive,
All right, real quick, I don't keep you too much long, but Johnny, man, say something. You've been way too quiet, man.
Oh man, yeah, I'm sort of a quiet guy. I don't say much.
He talks with his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, talk about your tour. I know you did a fill-in for Kill Devil Theory.
I did. Yeah, back in September of last year, so September of 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2024, right? Yeah, I got a message at Kill Devil Theory wanted to pick me pick me up and go on tour.
Was it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or?
It was more of a 3 weeks. Yeah, about 3 weeks. Yeah. That seen me around. That's seen our band. Did we? Oh yeah,
Yep.
that show at the cathedral.
Okay.
Yeah, we played a show at the cathedral, and they were headlining, and they had a drummer at the time, which obviously he's not the drummer anymore. He does this on some recordings now, but yeah, I guess they saw me there, and a few months later, they called me up and asked, "Hey, are you interested in going on a tour? Pretty much a countrywide tour, going from the east side to the west." And I was like, "You know what? Yeah, well, let's give it a shot."
That's cool.
So I went down there, and we played. We went to New Orleans, but that show was canceled. And then from there on, we came back towards the west.
Okay.
And so we played California a lot. It was pretty fun. Very cool.
Huh.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
Anything else you guys want
Had
to
a lot
get
of
out of
fun.
here?
If I may, usually like every time before we hit the stage, I'm not putting everybody else here on the spot. But every time we hit the stage, we kind of do a prayer. If you guys want, Mr. Michael Devon, get ahead and get cuddled up real nice and close to us. I'll hand
we can. It's hot ass weather.
I'll hand the I'll hand the mic to Dave and let him go ahead and lead us. And you guys better go ahead and get like a one-on-one Among the Living experience.
Fernie, we ain't nothing without our manager too. All righty, gentlemen. Mike and Devon, thank you for joining us. Thank you for having us.
Of course, anytime, man.
You guys, we've been here before. We do what we do best. We rock. We have fun, and we steal the show. But most importantly, we remember who we are, remember where we come from. And without further ado, I need everybody to put your hands in all together. And I need everybody who's listening, if you've heard us say this before, to say it here. There's only one place that we belong, and there's one place that we're going, and that's to the top. Ain't that right, gentlemen?
Damn
right. Ain't that right? So, on the count of 3, let's take this bitch to the fucking top. Are you with me? Ready? 1, 2, 3, to the top!
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.